Welcome to February's bonus Lead Network session. I'm Karen White, TriDelta CEO. I'm so excited to be with you today. Thanks for joining all of you survivors out there. I am thrilled to welcome today's guest, Betsy, good gracious, Betsy Schechter from the Alpha Omega chapter at Emory. Betsy is an Emmy-nominated producer who has created, produced, scripted and non-scripted programming for major networks and cable outlets, including CBS, NBC, ABC, A&E, National Geographic's History, the Oprah Winfrey Network, and MTV. So Betsy met Gloria Gaynor in 2015, and she was totally inspired by Gloria's life and her story. 9 years later, Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive, the documentary film that Betsy produced, has made the rounds at all the film festivals across the globe and is now being released for a very special one-night only showing in movie theaters nationwide on February 13th in celebration of Valentine's Day. So let's take a look at the trailer for the film and then welcome Betsy to share her story with us.
No sound.
We love technology when it all comes together. Hang on, Kels.
We can't hear.
Thank you, leaders, for bearing with us while we get our technology right.
Sorry, I think I probably forgot to press that little audio button, huh?
All good. Let's take it from the top. It's too good to miss.
We're starting over. They've updated Zoom and the button is in a different place.
You know how it happens.
Well,
Thank you all for your patience.
Here, we're starting over. Sorry about that.
For the last 40 years, I've been telling you I will survive. But I never told you how.
It was a fun time. I Will Survive topped the charts at #1.
My fan base growing like wildfire. People were beginning to recognize me on the street. But that girl was lonely.
Her husband was her manager. He called all the shots.
I was so afraid of abandonment. I allowed myself to be controlled. Hang on, baby. It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
Gloria Gaynor.
Parties. Smoking marijuana.
Gloria Gaynor.
Doing cocaine. I felt a fist grab me in my chest and said, "That's enough." And I'm going, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." And I realized that's what that was. That was God. 65 years old, divorced. Who am I now? I really want to inspire people with the faith that has brought me through all of the difficult times. I needed to find a manager that's willing to champion an artist that has never done gospel music before.
Things that she's been through.
I woke up paralyzed from the waist down.
I just knew they would become an instrumental part of this recording.
I had really, really deep scars from abuse. And you grow up feeling unloved. There was a time when I was broken.
Gloria Gaynor is just kind of the poster child of people just getting through. To point to what is her source of strength was just a cool idea.
At first I was afraid. I would...
Yes, ma'am.
If you can dream it, you can accomplish it. To be honored like this, it inspires me to keep going with this project.
So how old were you when you finally started college?
65. Age is just a number. All of those struggles make us stronger and help us to get to where we want to be, help us to do what we want to do, help us to create what we want to create, and survive and thrive.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That trailer was just under 3 minutes. I am already beyond moved and cannot wait to see this film. And leaders, we are going to talk about Gloria. But first, Betsy, I want to talk about you. And let's go to the beginning, right? Let's talk about TriDelta. from the beginning. You say it's played a big role in your life from college into today. So tell us more.
Yeah, I mean, my friends from Tridel are still my friends, dear, dear friends. In fact, one of my friends who's on today was in the delivery room when my daughter was born.
Oh my gosh.
And you know what? I learned a lot about service. I learned about friendships, which is a big theme with this, and women, and not that you could do anything you want to do. And that came from being in Tri Delta. And also, I actually had my first camera, which was this huge camera. My Tri Delta sisters would put light bulbs up and let me try and film a little bit.
Oh, I love that.
It's
Yeah.
really a full circle, but there's so much that sisterhood, but also feeling as a woman empowered to do what you want to do in the world. And that came from Tri Delta, and it still carries through.
It's awesome. So tell us about your career. So many awards and Emmy nomination, film festivals, television series. Tell us all about Betsy. Well, I'm going to call
I
you
started,
3 different names. Good gosh.
I
Sorry about
started
that.
at Emory, interning at CNN, and then just,
Oh, yeah.
I just want to be a storyteller in whatever medium it is. And, I've worked hard in when you're younger and you're trying to prove yourself, and then just I've had good opportunities, and then, took it from there. And just each thing I do, it's its own little baby in a way, to get it out there. But this was particularly special, this film.
So you started at CNN. You moved to Inside Edition.
Yes, the news magazine show,
Talk
which I
to us
learned
about
a lot
that.
from. I was all over the country. I was young.
Yeah.
It was just my first job. And oh, sorry. I don't know how that is. Sorry. And then from there, I wanted to tell stories. So I moved out to LA after after Inside Edition, which actually at Tribeca, a lot of friends who I met at Inside Edition came to the Tribeca Festival. It's all about connection and friendships there. And then I went out to LA, and I wanted to make movies, scripted, and did
Sure.
TV movies, and I did a documentary about at-risk children. And then I came back and started my own company pretty young, and started doing all sorts of things in that field, and different, from whether was scripted or non-scripted or documentaries. It's all about telling stories.
So you have TV movies. You have over 100 episodes of Paranormal State.
Yes, that was my big claim to fame. And now everyone thinks and after that, everyone wanted me to do paranormal things. And truth be told, it scares me. So it's
Does it really?
but that was a big, I created it thinking I would do a scripted series, and then I found a real group of people, and I filmed a pilot. That's what you do. You try, and then you try and sell it, and it just took off. We did 100 episodes, and I was at a lot of haunted locations, which were pretty incredible.
That's amazing. And your resume includes Match.com, not like searching for love, but what did you do for Match.com?
I went to pitch them a TV show, and they were talking about how nobody believes their dating commercials because it's all actors. And I was like, why don't you just do real people? So we did 2 years of real dates, and that was really fun because you take, we shot it just like documentary style, and then it was different because you do 15-second spots, which I was used to doing 44 minutes. So you never knew what was going to happen on those dates.
Well, for those of us who may or may not have, not pleading guilty to having been on Match.com, I would agree. You never know what's going to happen on a Match.com. So, and then you also did commercials, right? Series of commercials.
Well, the Match stuff was the commercials, and that was more of that. But I really found I love the longer form storytelling. Oh no, I did Glamour magazine. We did something. We did a iPad commercial with Kristen Chenoweth, and that was really fun. So,
all right, and then you meet Gloria. So tell us about meeting Gloria and the aha moment, right, that made you decide to turn Gloria's life into this film.
I had been doing a documentary music series for MTV International. I was in Amsterdam and in Scotland and all over, and it was just that the way I wanted to do it was less biography, but because it's a network, you have to sort of keep in the lane. And so when someone introduced me to Gloria, just a mutual friend, I wasn't quite like, oh, I don't want to do something about someone just sitting in a chair and we're telling their story. And when I met her, she was 71 and she had just gotten her college degree because she was told she could never go to college because she didn't have the money. And then she was going to Nashville to do this album, which no one would invest in. So I thought, well, this is really interesting. So I flew down there just to see if I would be even interested in pursuing this. And it took 5 years for her to finish the album. She had ups and downs in her life. And then we had COVID. And so it took a long time. And also I could not get anyone to, I'm used to the network's funding and, people think, oh, she's older, she's a disco queen. They didn't see what I was seeing of this incredible woman and what she was doing. So I just did it myself.
Well, and so you did talk a little bit about this was an incredible story that was unfolding for you as you got to know her, but that nobody would touch it from a funding standpoint. So tell us about self-funding this. How do you go about doing that?
Well, it was a course of like 8 or 9 years and so, I'm doing 2 other shows and working on other things. I was directing this as well. So we would go in and out of her life. And then at the end, I got some good friends, some friends who had just been through divorces who gave me some divorce money, which is great and appropriate for the,
I was going to say totally appropriate. Absolutely.
I mean, it was just, and then I had my editor who's one of the best. He won the Emmy last year for The First Wave. And he had 15 offers. I showed him footage. So he came on and it was just a labor of love from everyone who came on, who took less salary and did it, everybody did it together to make it what it was. And it was, in the end, I did full time, I just kind of dived in to finish it. It took me a year to edit it. And
oh, wow. Yeah.
but we had so much footage, and we also, which is really cool, is it took me 3 years. I heard about this this Super 8 footage from the 70s, like from 72 to 77 from one of Gloria's band members. It was like this myth. And I tracked it down, and it took me about 2 years to convince the band member to let me use it. So it's like going back in time and Gloria on the road where disco is just starting, and you see her in such a different place, and it's really cool and exciting to see all that.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see how it all came together. Now, you talk about telling stories, right? And that telling stories about women, and especially older women, is difficult. Say more about that.
Well, what's hard is that sort of the gatekeepers of Hollywood, like, look at Barbie, we have to be the change we want.
Yeah.
And it's hard because we're also denying younger women the opportunity to see older women who are really important in our lives. And that's because, networks are just like, oh, if you're not young or infamous, then we don't want to put it on. And it's a shame because I did the LA International Women's Festival, where this woman's been doing it for 19 years. And I said, I'm going to do your festival, even though we did Tribeca and we're doing the big festivals like Palm Springs. And we won the best feature doc, but a lot of moms brought their daughters who happened to be like huge influencers, and they were blown away by the film and by Gloria. And that's where I'm trying to make a change. I want, like, the theater, we only get one night and one day, 4 and 7, but we have to show we have to show Hollywood or the people who make decisions that they're missing out on something great. I mean, the fact is, since Tribeca, we've won an award, and we've won 2 audience awards. We just won the audience award at Palm Springs for Best of Fest. So I think, the reason I'm doing this is I'm passionate about setting up a future for, I have a 6-year-old daughter, setting up a future for the younger generation to know that, like, it's okay to get older and enjoy it, and we can learn from each other. I guess I don't want to be on a soapbox or anything, but
I think it's perfect.
You lead by
right?
example, right? So
We absolutely do. And it's kind of, we talk about it a lot in Tri Delta, as the power of this intergenerational sisterhood that we have, right? And the ability to learn from one another across, in Tri Delta, 5 generations, right? Are currently members of this amazing organization. So did you happen to see the Grammys the other night with Joni Mitchell, right?
Amazing. I mean, that, and if you didn't have Brandy Carlisle.
right?
You know,
Yes.
that's the thing. Brandy did a documentary with Tanya Tucker. Like, if you don't have a young person attached to the older person, you know, with this also, but it was, I mean, that was what an amazing moment. And even Tracy Chapman, you know, like these are like,
Yes.
just,
Yes.
and then people are talking about it and you know, that, but we don't get a chance to see this. So we have to push the envelope a little ourselves to say, it's like how Tyler Perry basically got his
Yeah.
stuff out because he got the audiences to come, and then Hollywood took notice.
So tell us the things. I mean, I know you talk about documentary filmmaking can be risky, right? So talk a little bit about that, but then tell us what you really loved about creating this film.
The risk is what I loved, because usually when I'm doing television series, you have like 6 weeks to edit, you have a schedule, you have to keep to your schedule. With this, there was nobody telling us, okay, where's the footage? What are you doing? We just were like flying by not the seat of our pants, but basically we didn't know where this would go, because it took Gloria 5 years to even get distribution and get the album done. And all these amazing musicians came on, and she had, I was with her in Spain. I mean, it was the scary part is how are we going to put this, how is this going to end? But then the joy of it was actually being on the road with her, being at, I felt like, I'd been on the road with like Macklemore and Ryan Lewis and Ed Sheeran and stuff like for the other show.
No,
But this was
wait, just one more time for those of us here in the front row. Macklemore, Ed Sheeran, like you drop these names, like, so you know that you have been with these people.
In filming, but not like the way I was with Gloria, and not like this woman who's such a sage, but also a lot of fun and funny. And I felt like I was like on the road, like it was just you get to live a life that you normally wouldn't live when we were in Spain. But it's incredible to her. The band is like been with her forever, this new band, since she had her divorce, and it's a family. She treats everyone, and it's fun. So there were great moments of, we were in Marbella in Spain, and we were all on a boat, like it was, we couldn't put half the footage in, you fall in love with things, and then you realize no one else falls in love with it because they weren't there and didn't experience it. But I guess the journey and the struggle is, the struggle was, it was unfortunate to see how she's enormous, like 60,000 people audiences. You can't walk anywhere in Europe without somebody stopping her and telling her their story of I Will Survive, or asking her, or seeing a concert. And here we just, it's a little bit harder. It was a little harder for her. You'll see in the story why. And so that too was just eye-opening, and seeing how, this summer she was playing for 60,000 people in Portugal. She doesn't stop. She played with Bocelli this summer too. He invited her to, I was like, why couldn't I be filming now and going to Italy to his private?
And so is she 71 now? How old is she now?
She's 80. She just turned 80.
Oh my gosh. Oh, because 90, 9 years to make the film. Wow. Still performing at 80.
She just took up CrossFit. I mean, that's what I say, like, but also, the messages of the film that aren't like preachy, but it's just showing, we see it in action, is, yes, people are telling you can't do this or that or this, and you have to just be the determination of your future, and so she, and also she gets disappointed. There's, and she almost died in an operation while we were there, like there was a lot that happened, that life happens. I mean, I started this, and I got pregnant during the filming, and my 6-year-old was at the Tribeca Film Festival. So there's like all that life that happens to all of us. And then sadly, my dad passed away during it, but all of being, the film really helped me get through, because I learned from her about, faith and therapy and all that stuff that she says. She combines it all.
Yeah. What, do you have a favorite Gloria story?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I mean, there's so many. We were in Spain, and we bought these little funny things from like outside the basilica, and we got back and we were scammed. It wasn't working, so she's like, let's go back and tell them. So we got in the car. I mean, it was just funny moments like that. Or she's great. I'm trying to think, there's so many. I mean, she has great Christmas parties that everyone goes around and sings. you know, her stories, I think my favorite stuff is seeing the people who've gone through, whether it's cancer or divorce or any age group, and they come up to her and they, I've been with her when they tell their stories and how she
Oh, yeah.
embraces them, which is cool. I mean, there's so many stories with her over the years, and she's just really funny too. Like, she just has a good sense of humor.
I love that she's doing CrossFit at age 80. So,
Incredible, right?
one of our listeners, hi, Francis. Francis Jones has a question, and I owe you a phone call, Francis. So I will call you. We'll talk soon. Francis says the clip is fantastic. And she's really interested in your marketing strategy. And then she's got a second question. So in marketing this film, sort of, where's your head been? Where have your thoughts been on getting this film out and seen?
It's hard. We're not a studio. We're a small little team. We're getting some help. But it's not a big budget, so we're just going grassroots, talking to you all. The Breast Cancer Research Foundation, which Gloria has been doing, has done a lot of volunteer work for a long time, is spreading the word. We're just going to, we're just, and it's also when people see the film, then they go tell other people, we're doing press. And so after this, hopefully, enough people will have seen the film to tell people, and then we'll figure out the next stage. But this has been, I mean, for me, which I'm used to working with networks who have huge machines of marketing.
Yeah.
And I've never really done a movie. I didn't have to do it in the theater, but we are doing it with a Fathom event because we do want the theater experience. It is a different experience. We mix the sound to make it like loud and not loud, but just. And also, Dr. Lippy Roy, who is amazing, who was writes for Forbes and came to Tribeca, and she's like the biggest, one of the hardest things for women is loneliness and isolation, especially after COVID. And she thought that the gathering of people to get into a theater and have a collective experience would be, it's part of the experience of the film. So that's why we decided to do this one day event, which we're having the I Will Survive sing along after, with Gloria's recorded a really special sing along. So after the movie's over, everyone can like sing the song together, which will be kind of cool too. We'll never do that again. This will be the only time.
I was going to say, so what does success look like for you on Valentine's Day? Like, do you measure it in ticket sales or just the conversation and stuff happening on social media? Like, what are you envisioning?
I just envision like women, men, whoever, people coming and benefiting from the film. I mean, ticket sales would be great. Not for so much, of course, it's nice to get ticket sales, but it would send a message to the importance of programming that's not certain ways, especially documentary films right now are taking a beating this past year or so, because so it's just sending a message. And I mean, for me, success will happen when I've been to like I was just in Palm Springs, and people come up and say, oh my God, I'm going to start writing again. I thought it was over for me, success is measured by how you can measure success by money or how you've helped other people. And I guess, for me, this film is about that and just people having fun, and yes, people coming to the theaters and enjoying it.
So, I mean, Gloria's story inspiring people, and then the idea that the story was made inspiring people too.
Yeah, I mean, I think for everyone, all of us, we have things that we're struggling with, and also, oh, it's so hard, or oh, I'm in this job and I want to do this. I mean, we all have. It's, what's amazing about Gloria is she's just so identifiable with all of our struggles, but also what she has found, which I, in the beginning, had no clue of how to apply it to my own life when I first met her, but is how to find her own faith and inspiration and to get through the dark. One of her songs is like joy comes in the morning. So when we are crying or we're upset or something happens, like it's just, we know we can just push a little further and we'll get up to the new thing. So I think the music is, I just hope, people that never listen to gospel music, I mean, her old music, her 70s music is great, but the album, people started buying the album after it did well, but it's that's cool too. I mean, I hope I do hope that like that younger people come to see it too, like, maybe some of the Tridel chapters and they get to kind of see a different side of life.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I mean, I feel like finishing it was one of the, I think I've already won because it was so
That's
hard.
success right there, right? Just to get it done.
Yeah, but I did have really a lot of support from my Tridel sisters who some are on. I mean, we have a separate Facebook together. So, and they some of them came to the festivals, which we've done. So it's really important that we all support each other. And I think that's what's great about Tri Delta and what we all do, because everyone is like got a special story or something, that's impressive and that they've done,
Absolutely. So second follow-up question from Francis. It's a harder one, right? She's wondering whether you received any pushback in releasing this from years ago when it was rumored that Gloria was homophobic, right? Did that become an issue for you in any of your filmmaking or any of the work you were doing with her?
No, because I know she's not, she's walked the walk, she's talked the talk. Her friends, people who work for her.
Yeah.
I think rumors just happen, because Donna Summers and, she's with that whole thing. So no, I haven't had any pushback. In fact, a lot of really wonderful people from, LGBTQ community have seen the film before I even, I had screenings for just to make sure, like, when you're living in a box, you get people to come that, from and give notes, like as if you were having a network, but we didn't have a network. So it's so no, I didn't get any pushback, and a lot of people who've seen the film or it's not the film is about Gloria. So it's not, about one area or the other area, but we have wonderful people who are someone who has, we have a section in the film that shows the power of I Will Survive and how it's helped so many different groups of people. It's important.
It's an anthem, right? Like it over the years, I think it's become an anthem for so many people and so many in so many situations, so many groups, individuals. Do we learn much about how that song came to be?
Oh yeah, it's I
no
mean,
spoiler alerts, right? No, no
but you saw in the
spoiler
trailer that she fell off a stage and she was paralyzed, which is and it kind of has, there's parts of it really has to do with that time period of her life of five, and that was a really horrific thing. She couldn't walk. She was in the hospital for several months, and she had she thought it was over. So
how incredibly scary.
Yeah, that's the thing. She's had so many, I don't want to, there's so many things that have happened to her, but yet she is the happiest person I know. She's so much joy now. And I think she had to go through life's lessons. It's almost like for that she had to get through it to get to a place of where she is now. She just built a home. In 78, she designed and built a new home that she
it's amazing.
So yeah.
With a CrossFit studio inside, I'm thinking.
She does have she Zooms with her trainer she has a place in North Carolina that she's got. It's funny because I found footage from her from 72, a radio interview, and they asked her of all the places she's been, and she was just starting out, she hadn't gone anywhere. She came very poor in Newark, and she says this location, which is now where she has a house, which is. And I found it and I played it for her, and she couldn't believe it because it was so crazy that it was so long ago. And now here she has a house in that very place.
That's awesome, right? Full circle moment. So you've got your own production company. What's next for you?
I have a few projects scripted, not documentary. One is, but all like, I really just want to do projects that have some kind of like hero's journey and positive, and if I can, like I think I have one with Dr. Jamie Williams. He is the former 49ers football player who was the original writer of the first script of Any Given Sunday. And we've been trying to get this film out for years and years and years. So he and I he just wrote the script. So we'll raise money. I'm not going to fund it.
No, that sounds very exciting. Now, there's a question in the chat around back to Paranormal State, right? Do
Yeah.
you have a favorite Paranormal State episode?
Oh my God, there's a few. I mean, we did 100. I can't say I went on all 100, but in the beginning, I went on a lot of them. I mean, there was one we did. I mean, a favorite is kind of weird because they're also scary. These are some of the scariest ones. I don't know if you know Lorraine Warren, who Famke Johnson plays her now in the movies. She was at what's it called? The Amityville.
Yes.
Anyway, we had this project, we had this case in Maine, and we had and she came out, and I have to tell you honestly, we never, like, our psychic, if they were coming, they would be in a van. Like, we never, everything was done as a documentary style, and so I could go to sleep every night and say this is authentic.
Yeah.
And I remember her turning to me and going, "Oh, honey, this is not good." And we were like isolated in Maine in this like woods place, and where we were staying in the hotel, and but there was a mystery to it that we solved. So it was that was one of my favorite ones.
Okay, that's very cool. So you had a psychic on set?
We always had somebody who would sort of do a walkthrough to pick up things. And so this was Chip Coffey, who's been on a lot, and everyone would be in their cars. This is sort of behind the scenes kind of stuff.
Yeah, we
And
love
we would
this.
just
We love this.
have the team and a camera, because I didn't want to, we really did take it very, very, very seriously. And this one, if you walk in, there's a bed there's like an old bed in the basement, on the ground floor in the living room. There was no signs of like but what happened was, in this case, it was all about these dogs. It was all had to do with dogs. And he had no idea. And he's walking up the stairs, and he goes to the Ryan, who's the leader of the team. He just turns around and he goes, "What about the dogs?" And I'm like, we all freaked out because he had no way of knowing about the dogs. And then subsequently, there's a lot of things that happened with the dogs in the whole case, and even Lorraine. And so that was, it was great to be with someone like her, who really, she was probably in her 70s when she was out there doing it. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. All right. So question in the chat. Thank you everybody for participating. Thank you for answering that too. This is from Brooke, and thank you, Sarah Brown, for your question. This is from Brooke, asking about why documentaries are taking a hit, because, at least on the big screen, because they seem so popular on the streaming channels. I agree. Although a lot of them, she says, are, sort of negative or crime, true crime kind of stories. So what are your thoughts on why documentaries are struggling at the box office?
Well, it's not even that. It's not getting the support, because there's people who've written articles about this. I'm sort of, like at Sundance last year, not one, even the documentaries that one didn't sell with 3 or 4 years ago. And I think that there were a lot of high bids on documentaries, but they don't bring people back every week to get, to pull in viewers.
Sure.
So it's just a change in its business models. It's not about whether something's good or bad, or it's just business models, which we can change. We can change business models by showing its worth, and we can, that's the beauty of like film and television. You can create something, and then it can, this has been a grassroots, but from the festivals alone, we've gotten so much, just word of mouth kind of thing. So and I think it's cyclical, it's so but there's a lot of really good women like that are working on trying to get more movies and things about not just women, but women who are doing different things, older women. Gina Davis has a foundation that she's so I think it's just everyone, and I've met so many amazing people who are helping, and like you all, supporting the film. And it doesn't mean that we're not going to end up somewhere on one of the Netflix and stuff, but sometimes I've gotten feedback, this is the most amazing film, but our viewers are younger. Do you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we want to show that we have a big group, vast audience, and internationally too. People are clamoring to see it. But first, we just want to have this really wonderful experience because theaters are like, that's also they're struggling. Theaters are struggling. So
Right.
to be able to hear the music and sound and do all that thing for one day, it's like, why not? You know, we've done 9 years of this, you know, working on this. So let's have this great celebration of the film. And Gloria, you know, Gloria's and is
Now, how will you celebrate? How will you celebrate Valentine's Day? Where will you be? What will you be doing? And what will Gloria be doing?
we're going to be at 42nd at the well, it's okay. You could get we're going to be at in New York, and Times Square is at the square at the movie theater there, and to
Awesome.
celebrate it with a lot of like friends and, you know,
Right.
everyone. There's 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock showings everywhere. So if it'd
Great.
be fun, you know, but she really appreciates all the love she's receiving because she's been kind of on her own, like trying to really push forth her messages and things, and even to get this film, her album done was so hard. But I think she's just, you know, she's just looking. She's actually writing music with. She wrote a song, the Miley Cyrus Flowers. She wrote a song with the writer that just won the Grammy. I
Oh
forget
my
his
gosh. Yeah.
name. She wrote a song with the Taylor Swift, someone who writes with Taylor Swift a lot, and she's working on a new album. So it's kind of fun for
That's
that.
incredible. I love that
Yeah.
she's still making music, right? And still really feeding her creative side after all she's been through. So I'm glad you'll be together on Valentine's Day too to celebrate this big debut.
Yeah, lots of friends. That's, you know, we'll be there. And I think it'll be fun. And then, you know, there's so much fun. Like I think about, okay, what's next, you know, and all the new
Yeah.
ideas and projects. Like we all do, like we finish something and we're like, okay, we're ready for a new challenge, I guess.
Well, we're excited. And somebody put in the chat, and this is true, that TriDelta's executive office team, we're based here in Dallas. Our team is going to the movie next Tuesday at 4 o'clock. We're going as a whole team. I can bet that we've got TriDelta alumni chapters who are going to do a Galentine's event similar to this. And TriDelta Nation will be behind this, including
No.
your Omega sisters who have shown up today in the chat, which is awesome.
Oh, they're amazing. And they're all impressive in their own right. Every one of them is just, I mean, it must, you know, being a part of TriDelta is like every one of them is different and interesting and has accomplished so much. So everyone should do some kind of TriDelta, take a picture, and I will make sure like Gloria does something with it, you know, or
Oh, we got it. Absolutely. You know, I wonder if Gloria is affiliated with an organization. I mean, she could absolutely be a TriDelta Honor Initiate,
Oh
right?
yeah, she would.
I mean, she's just been through college, right?
Yeah, she just you know, this is what's so incredible. I think she started college at 65, and she it took her till 71, and she's like, Betsy, I'm like in Russia in a lobby because I don't have the internet in my room, and my professor won't like say, oh, you just did a concert, so you can't hand in your paper. You know?
She's getting cut no slack.
She got
for
no
it,
slack
right?
for it.
I
And
love it.
she got her degree in psychology.
Okay. Yeah.
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 But
that's
you know,
not a
when we were my fellow TriDelta sisters will know that in college we were like the Go-Go's was our thing that got us and together. And I Will Survive is too, like one of those things everybody has a story or it can sing it. I think it's the number one, like the top 5 karaoke.
it was a question in the chat is, do we know where it is on the it's got to be top 5, right?
Yeah, it's in the top 5. And that's why it's so fun because she's like, okay, this time you're not going to be karaoke, you're going to be singing with me. And it has almost, I think, 1 billion streams worldwide, 1 billion.
That's incredible.
So, you know, the movie isn't so much, I mean, it is her story, but it's really more about not just surviving, but the keys to thriving.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's kind of if people could take away from it, you know, that how they can utilize her messages and how, and the way she does things and apply it to yourself, to not just, okay, I survived this, I survived that, I survived COVID, but how do we then take that and make ourselves even happier, more joyful?
Yeah, stronger, better from it, right?
Right. That's what I've taken from it, even in the struggle to get it made, which, my friends know it's ups and downs with anything, and also, I'm a single mom. So it was, it's, you're trying to like, you know, do everything. We all, like, I think women especially, it's just trying to balance everything, whether, and then, no matter what, you have to like get through. There could be a night you're just like, oh, I'm exhausted. And then you're like, the next day you're with your friends and having fun. So I think that's, sort of like Gloria and her manager were really good friends, and they've been through a lot together. So it was nice to see friendships of women, not, it's, a lot of times in the media, which is okay, you get these women are like battling, and that's part of the, but here it is women lifting each other up. So I think that's been great too.
Right. That to me that's the tie here, right? Like Tri Delta is about, women supporting women, right? Lifting each other up, empowering each other. And it's like Gloria's story goes right along with that, right? That you see that in her life.
You see it, and you see it in her friendship with her manager,
Nice.
who wants to get this record made. To see them, like, it's almost like Lucy and Ethel, the two of them.
Well, I will tell you, I'm reading in the chat that the Charlotte, North Carolina Tri Delta alumni chapter will be attending the film next week and wearing disco outfits.
That's
So
what we
be
should all be
looking-
doing. I'm gonna wear a disco outfit.
Are you wearing
That's
disco?
fun.
Okay, can we agree to wear disco?
The challenge is on.
I love that. All right, so
That would be fun.
discos and deltas. We want to see
Discos and
outfits
deltas. That's what we should
deltas,
call it. We should
right?
get
All
t-shirts.
right,
Yeah.
all over social media. This is what we want, people. A little Delta love for
Oh,
Gloria
deltas.
and for Betsy. I mean, congratulations, Sister Delta. It's just amazing. And thanks for spending time with us today and
Oh my
giving
God,
us
this is
the
a
inside scoop.
it's really, I'm honored that you even all took time out of your busy days to spend time with me. That's what's so exciting about this, is that, I'm meeting so many incredible people, but especially women who are supportive of each other. And it does remind me of Tri Delta so much. So this was like the most important thing of all the things. I mean, I was on Good Morning America, but this has like been like, to me, it's full circle. It's really the best full circle I could ever experience from this film.
I love it. Good Morning America. Let's talk Tri Delta. I love even saying those things. Lead Network, right? In the same sentence. We are so proud to know you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
We are
And-
walking this walk with you. We will see you virtually next Tuesday, and know that we'll be all around you, surrounding you and Gloria with lots of Delta love.
Oh, I'm excited. Delta and Disco. This is the challenge. We'll get everyone to go and have fun. And then, I'm happy if anyone has questions after or wants to connect. I'm happy to.
Thank you so much, Betsy. Thanks for joining us. And Sister Deltas, grab your friends. Let's go celebrate Valentine's Day with a movie outing. We're going to drop a link right in the chat to purchase tickets if you haven't already. I do have mine. We have ours at Executive Office. We love sharing the stories of Tri Deltas like Betsy doing amazing things in this world. It's humbling, and it's so
thank you.
exciting. To be a
Thank you.
part of it.
And if you spread, you ask about marketing, it's word of
Yeah.
mouth. This is really a word of mouth kind of film, where people aren't gonna, we're not like buying ads on television or big poster boards. So if you're inclined to just tell people, or if somebody really needs it and you want to pay it forward, that's also a good way to do it.
It's a great idea. Well, when you say word of mouth, we have a lot of mouths, and we do, and we use a lot of words. So once you've got Tri Delta Nation going, we are here for you. So, ladies, you heard the challenge, discos and deltas. For all of you on the call, we want to make sure that you've got the rest of the spring season of Lead Network on your calendar. Next Tuesday, not next Tuesday, a couple Tuesdays from now, February 27th at 2:00 Central, will be with our DEI expert, Risha Grant. She is always powerful and so informative. We'll get together again on Sunday, April 14th at 3:30 in the afternoon, and we'll be with Alex Snodgrass. She is the author of The Defined Dish. We'll talk about her newest cookbook called Dinner Tonight. Alex is a Tri-Delta from Texas Christian. So we love all the Tri-Deltas that surround us. And then don't forget that registration for Convention 2024 is now open. And early bird pricing will end in just a couple of weeks on February 20th. We've got a very special networking event for leaders on Thursday, the Thursday of convention, just after the opening session. That will allow you all to connect IRL in real life, face to face, outside of our virtual sessions. And we're all looking forward to that. So thanks you all again for joining today, our special Lead Network bonus session with Betsy and Gloria too.
I'll have her get,
everyone.
I promise you, I'm going to get her to do a Tri-Delta shout out. So
We cannot wait. We will be
I'm
looking for
going to see
this.
her at Kelly Clarkson. So I'll tell her and I'll get it over to you.
And again, with the name, she just dropped Kelly Clarkson.
Oh, I didn't mean,
I'm going on the
I'm
Kelly
not going
Clarkson.
on there. I'm just watching her be on the show. I'm just I'm just lucky enough to go to the audience. And so I'm a fan. I'm going to be a fan too, you know.
Oh my gosh. Well, we will look for Gloria on Kelly. And then we will look for Gloria, Delta, and Disco coming soon. To all of you today, thanks for being here. Huge Delta love. We will see you all soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.